It's the 14th of February 2021 and I'm in hospital. 12 days ago I went for a stress test on the heart, and before doing so I was put on a thing called an echo machine or an ultrasound to check the structure of the heart and the surgery to see if things were okay before I jumped on the cycle and stressed my heart out. And my cardiologist found a nice little growth on one of the leads, which is bizarre.
Alright, let me clarify one thing before we continue with this video. I used to have a pacemaker in the heart which had two leads into one of the chambers. So what had happened is I went for the stress test and I found out one of these leads, before I did the stress test, had a little growth on it, okay? And that was detected when my cardiologist did an ultrasound of the actual heart before I did the stress test. So that's where we are, that's the context. So let's get back to the video. Oh, just one other thing I just wanted to show you is a diagram of a heart and a pacemaker. So here it is here, and over here you can see the pacemaker, which is installed in the chest, just about here. And if I swing over here, we can see the cables which actually go through into the heart. And you've got two cables, one goes into the ventricle and one goes into the atrium. Yeah, so I had a vegetation or a growth, a blood clot, whatever. We don't know at this point in time what we had, but that was the problem that I've got. So back to the video.
Another bizarre thing in my life. Anyhow, 12 days later, actually, I've been in hospital now. This is day 3. So now I'm hooked up to a machine administering antibiotics, and they're trying to actually kill this growth or actually suppress this growth. And in a few days' time, I'm going to get the pacemaker removed with the infection on. The infection being on the lead, which is in the heart, so it's not really an ideal place to have an infection. Good thing about it is that it hasn't spread at this point in time, so we've got it early. Again, I don't know, God's on my side, someone's on my side, but still, we found it, and it can be treated, I believe, but the problem is they haven't worked out what bug it is. So there's all different chains of thought. So yesterday I had some quite lengthy discussions with infectious disease people, my cardiologist, surgeons. It was just a revolving door of people coming in, giving their opinions, and me having to make my mind up what course of action. Because any sort of surgery, any sort of treatment does take, it does have its side effects, and it's negative. So doctors do love to tell you the worst at times, and which I'm happy with. Transparency is very important, I think, in medicine. Now, about this infection I've got on my pacemaker wire, it's as I said, quite bizarre. And my cardiologist believes it's a growth or a bacteria. He calls it a vegetation, which should be treated with antibiotics. So I've commenced that process. Apparently that will give me a bit of time so they can go in and remove the device. I must admit there was two trains of thought between the infectious disease guy, George, gotta love George, and Frank, who's my cardiologist, who I trust totally because he found the original problem with my heart. Anyhow, two trains of thought. George on one side believed it was a blood clot and should be treated with blood thinners, but my cardiologist said, no, it's an infectious disease. It looks like some sort of growth, some sort of vegetation, as they said. So I had to choose which one would be right and which one would be wrong and choose the appropriate treatment. Anyhow, I found out, I decided to go initially with George's diagnosis, which would just require some blood thinning agents, and therefore that would break down the blood clot over a period of I think 4 to 6 weeks. Now, when my cardiologist heard this, he went ballistic. He went off his nut, and my God, I've never heard him get so passionate about this thing. Obviously, he feels so right about this thing and how to treat it. He was just gobsmacked that I was not going to go with his opinion. Okay, so look, Frank's a beautiful guy, a lovely man. He saved my life, so I'm going to give him another chance. So I'm on antibiotics, which will slow this thing down and stop it spreading to other parts of the body. That's the main thing. It'll give us time to go in there, take the pacemaker out, and then we'll put a new one in. Taking the pacemaker out with its wire will remove the virus or the vegetation, and they can actually grow it and see what it actually is, because they can't identify what it is. They got me on this broad spectrum antibiotics, so hopefully they're hoping to suppress it a little bit, okay, and stop it spreading. But who knows if it's going to work, but it's my best shot anyhow. But the main thing is we have to get this pacemaker wire removed, and that'll fix the problem for sure. So now I've decided which way to go. It's very simple, okay? It does involve a few operations. However, it's the best way. So tomorrow we're going to have a quick scan of the lungs just to see if any of this vegetation or bacteria has broken off and gone to my lungs, because that's the next port of call from the heart, where it actually is to my lungs. So it's really important that we have a quick look to see if it's spotted or seeded in an area that's close to the heart. Now, after the scan, that'll complete the first phase of identifying and treating this problem that I've got. Now, I've just spent 4 days in hospital, talking to everybody, looking at things, doing tests, blood tests, all sorts of stuff. It's been pretty rigorous. So yeah, I'm looking forward to going home. Anyhow, I've enjoyed my time. It's been quite different. Anyhow, after the scan, we'll go home, and we'll go home with an antibiotic tube, which is connected to a pump that will administer the antibiotics directly to the bloodstream until I go back on Friday for another scan, which involves going down the throat, down the esophagus, and having a good look at the vegetation to see if it's grown, shrunk, whatever. Okay, they just want to see if it's still there, and in particular, they want to see if anything's broken off, or it has broken off and moved to my lungs, say. So that'll be reassuring. But anyhow, since I'm on the antibiotics, it should stop any sort of seeding around the body. Hopefully they're right. So on Friday, we have another scan down the throat to see if that's changed. And then the following week, it looks like I'll be going in for a pacemaker change. Okay, and that's to rip it out, okay? But a new one won't be put in straight away. I've got to have another operation to put another one in, okay? They can't do a removal and they can't do a new one at the same time. So yeah, we have got a solution. Let's hope it can be executed correctly. Let's hope that it hasn't seeded. This vegetation hasn't seeded anywhere else in the body. Now, what's made this stay in hospital a lot more stressful is that my dad's in hospital, and yeah, he's quite frail. He hasn't been eating much food lately. He's had a throat problem, and now we believe he's got pneumonia. So he got rushed to hospital a day after I was admitted to hospital. And yeah, he's just, he's okay now. So I'll get to see him in a day or two. But I tell you what, I've been looking after him for the last 3 months, along with Mum, who has pretty bad dementia. And that's another story which I'm certainly going to tell. Yeah, so I've been looking after those guys for a while. G'day, here I'm just calling or videoing from hospital. I'm in the radiography ward, waiting to get a scan. It's the 15th of February 2021, and more investigations in to see what this vegetation growth is in my actual heart and my pacemaker lead. Yeah, sorry for the broken dialogue, but there's a few things happening down here. Anyhow, we're going in for a scan. Hopefully it's one of my last scans or last tests, and tomorrow I should be released from hospital, depending on what they find, of course. So a little bit about this CT scan. They're actually going to use a contrast, which is a radioactive liquid that they're going to inject into my bloodstream. They're looking for clots of any sort or any signs of clots in the heart. So yeah, hopefully they won't. But anyhow, I've had one of these before. Actually, I've had a few of these before, and contrast is quite some interesting substance. It makes your anal passage go all hot, and that's a pretty unique experience to me. Well, not since I've been having heart problems and CT scans with contrast, but yeah, contrast. I'm not really a fan of it, but you know, they've got to use it to get good pictures of what's going on inside. Yeah, so after that CT scan, I've got two cannulas in my left arm now. This one. Hang on, I'm being interrupted. As I was saying before, I've got two cannulas in me now. One this one in my arm where they injected the contrast, and yeah, one there where they're doing the antibiotic administration. And I think that one will come out pretty soon, won't it, Sean?
We can use both of them.
Day 4 of my first phase in hospital is just finished, and it's been a rather interesting day. I've had a bit of positive news about my scan, which was clear, as my cardiologist was expecting. So it didn't show any abnormalities, any clots, any seeding of the of virus or bacteria in any lungs. So you know, one has to be positive about that. However, that's about as much good news as I got all day. Apparently, I did find out I have to spend a few more days in hospital. I was hoping to go home tomorrow, Tuesday, so I could spend a bit of time with my dad, who's in hospital also, and my mum, but that's not going to happen. I could be spending another 3 or 4 days in hospital. However, what they've got planned is to put in a thing called a PICC line, so to administer the antibiotics at home. So there are complications. It's a pretty simple operation, as I've been told, where they just put a line in through a vein in your arm, and that line goes up the vein into the heart, and a cannula is put on your arm, so you can go home and administer your own antibiotics at home. The advantage of this PICC line is that it can stay in for several weeks or even a couple of months without the risk of infection. When the normal cannulas, they can only stay in 2 to 3 days. Tuesday, 16th I think of February, and yeah, I'm feeling much better than yesterday. Pretty rough day yesterday. Went down and saw my dad, and just things were going a little bit AWOL with the doctors here. Conflict of what should happen to me, my treatment. Anyhow, that's all sorted out. I've got a clear path ahead. Anyhow, today I had quite a unique experience, and the hospitals are very interesting places, and they can be scary, but look, at the end of the day, you've got to make the most of them. There's plenty of good food here. Actually, the food is much better these days. They even gave me, you can even have wine, red wine, a little bottle of red wine every night. So yeah, why not? Anyhow, why I'm videoing right now is because the operation I had this morning was called a PICC line insertion, and basically that's a relief actually to get that done. And what it is I'll just show you the result of the PICC line insertion. I've got these things hanging out of my arm. So they're tubes, obviously, that go into my arm, and they go through the vein and into the heart, and they administer antibiotics.
All right, now I've got to show you a couple of pics. It's what's under that bandage, so if you don't like a bit of blood and guts, turn away while I show these pics. All right, that's over. Back to the video.
So no more cannulas. They're all gone. And even blood testing, they don't have to prick me to get blood tests because they take so much freaking blood out of you when you're here, a couple of times a day. I've lost count at how much blood I give them, but I probably made at least 12 or 15 donations to pathology in the last few days. Anyhow, I was quite excited because when you go into theatre, this was done under a local anaesthetic, so I was awake, but wheeled into theatre, machines, all sorts of displays, nurses and that running around. It's quite exciting, and the staff there, you can joke with them because you're awake during the procedure, and it's actually a lot of fun. I know, it's a bit of a sicko, aren't I? But you got to get some enjoyment out of these experiences because they just don't happen very often. Just doing a bit of exercise. Haven't been out for my walk today because I'm bloody hooked up to this frickin' machine, and it's now administering 2 lots of antibiotics at the same time. As I showed you before, it's quite a nice little unit, double boner, and hopefully I'll be off this unit pretty soon. Well, here it is, the day, the 18th of February, and Thursday, and I'm getting out! Yeah! Anyhow, it's been interesting, but I'm not out yet. Gee, they can drag this thing out. I was assured to be out today. I hassled them pretty badly this morning because just things weren't happening, and I know they're having 4 people being discharged today, and I wasn't one of them, so that was a little bit concerning. Anyhow, I knew what had to be done. I had to get my pacemaker turned on. I had to have a few more rounds of antibiotics. I had to do quite a few little things. I had to trying to get not a discharge form, but a form so I could get at least day leave if they stuffed up the discharge, so I can go and see my dad in hospital and have a meeting with Ferndale. So I had a bit of a tight afternoon, so it was really, really important that I got out on time. But there's all these protocols and things that got to be ticked off. But still, I've been waiting around now for probably a couple of hours, waiting for this last antibiotics to finish. It was a 3-hour one. I'm also waiting for a pump and some diffusers, some antibiotic diffusers, which administer the drugs into my body through the pump. I'm waiting for them so I can take them home. Everything's organised for my day, for my days at home. I'm getting a nurse coming around every day just to administer the antibiotics. Well, here it is. I've just finished the antibiotics, and they're just flushing me with a bit of saline. And there's only one thing left to do after this. I've got my what is it? What do they call them? The diffusers with the drugs in, or the antibiotics in. But they freaking forgot the pump. The pump. I want the pump. Pump it, baby. Okay. So you can see I'm a little bit excited. I got a new dressing on the arm where the PICC line went in, and it's beautiful piece of artwork done by my nurse. There it is. Look at that. Beautiful. No blood. Looks $1 million. Okay. Anyway, getting excited. We've got 15 minutes to go on this saline flush, and discharge forms to sign, and I'm out of here, and I'm pretty much cutting it fine, but I think I'm going to make it. 1:30. It's going to be tough. Got to be down there by 3 o'clock to see Daddy.
Okay, that concludes the first video of 2 that I'm going to produce on my heart problem. Look, I've been in hospital for nearly a week, and they've done all sorts of things to me, but the main thing is they've got the PICC line in, and we're going home for 2 weeks to administer antibiotics to kill this suspected growth that's on the pacemaker wire in the heart. Okay, so Yeah, the next episode is very daunting, so I'll give you a warning right now. I'm currently making it and should be out in a few days' time. Yes, it's a very hard one to make, so but I've got to do it, I've got to make it. Anyhow, that is it for now. I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.